Gather around, people, wherever you are. Come gather around, people, wherever you are. Admit the waters around you have grown and accepted. Soon will be drenched to the bones. If you're time to you what's saying, and you better start swimming or sink like a stone, for the times they are changing. Alright, I think this camera needs some help. Does it have some changing value? I think so. White balance is 4,000. I think it must be 5,000. 5,500. Oh, let it be 5,000. Let's see. Okay. Don't think that's a problem though. Something else. Exposure, dynamic frame rate, nope. Focus, automatic, continuous, whatever. Okay, that sounds good. Hey, is there anybody on the stream? If so, please let me know if the sound is alright. I have a AC running behind me and there are too many ACs running, so there might be a background hum of those ACs. Alright, we'll start in about 5 minutes. Let me just gather my thoughts and things that I want to show you. They are changing. Wherever you are. Come gather around, people, wherever you roam. To the bones. Right. Okay, that works. Alright, we're pretty much ready. So aside from these, I also need to have the board handy, but I'll probably pull them down after. For the time being, this is fine, I guess. Okay, let's start with this. This is a better knife. No. How does it go? Like this? Ha, gotcha. Or how about this? Nice. All right. About time. They are changing. Quick sip of coffee. Hello, hello. Is anyone watching? Is anyone there? Okay, I don't know. I'll just go ahead. I'm pretty much ready. And so, in case anybody is watching and is confused by my complete and utter disregard for speaking to the camera while nobody else is watching. So there are two reasons for that. Reason number one, I need to get better at speaking to the camera, speaking to the void, not looking at another person, like no, then not needing to be another person on the other side, but me being able to consolidate my thought and put it out there, even when I cannot know what exactly the other person is responding to, whether they're getting along with it, they need further explanation, or I'm speaking too much about something, etc., etc. I usually track that, measure that if I'm speaking something, speaking with somebody, and then modulate myself, regulate myself. But that doesn't happen here. So I find a little bit challenging to speak to the camera off the cuff. But with that said, that's reason number one, which will help me create more content, more better in a sense, like I won't have to script and all. I can just go along with whatever I'm in my head and be able to put it out there. That's reason number one. The reason number two is that all this that I'm showing, all that I'm doing here, they are kind of the B-roll for the videos that I will make on these topics. So I'm not sure exactly what kind of videos I'll end up making, right? So I'm not certain what will come of this Radxa X4 or what will come of this LattePanda Moon. But if I try to attempt to make that video, there needs to be some baseline things that I need to do, get done to identify that whether that's something that can be done or not. And by that time, I already don't have the initial clips of like me opening the box or getting excited about stuff, or even if I do that, it will be not genuine, they're not authentic. So how do I capture that? So this stream is kind of an outlet for that. This is where, and I don't want to just create video content about just about the like full long length videos, just about hey, I opened a box of this product and I went through its components and stuff. That seems like a low effort content to me. I'm not blaming anybody for doing that. Like, this is still fine, fantastic, like if you do that. I personally want to dedicate my channel, like the long form videos, for making something new. Usually, ideally, that's the idea. That might change, but for the time being, that still is what's in my mind, what I'm gonna do with the channel. I make something new and I share how I did it, and hopefully encourage people to do the same. Now, live streams are an excellent way as a stopgap for having it both ways. Basically, to have your cake and eat it too. I get to open stuff for the first time on the live stream, be excited, share what I think. Sometimes end up saying the wrong thing. Doesn't matter. It was on the moment. I can correct myself later. And all these things said and done, the stream gets closed down. All these ideas run through my head, and then I come up with, hey, I could do this with that. I said that was wrong, but if I fix that mistake, now that I know that, there are other opportunities, other things that are possible. And then those things consolidate and turn into a project that later I can build on, and then I can show in a form of a video. So those two are the prime reasons for me streaming. So the streams are usually not that long. It's Sunday 8:30 Indian Standard Time, so that would be 3 p.m. UTC or GMT, however you want to call it, every Sunday. some Sundays get dropped. Unfortunately, my last Sunday I wasn't able to stream, and the reason behind that was my um, there was a family death in the family. My mother-in-law passed away, and yeah, so it was challenging in more than one ways for me to stream. So I skipped that week, but I would otherwise continue to stream, and I have a lot of stuff. I have a lot of things that I want to show, and a lot of products that I want to unbox and start integrating into my workflow or in my workstations and stuff. So that is what it is. Now, let's see. I think this can be one view of me, right? This is where I can wait, but if I need the clip of me unboxing the stuff, maybe the better idea is to cover my face for the time being and unbox without it. How about this? Let me go through the unboxing one after another. And before I do that, okay, wait. So before I do that, so these are two Intel N100 based single board computers. Both of them are not single board computers. One of them is single board computer, you can call it. It's like a Raspberry Pi form factor, closely, not entirely. This one is a compute module, which you can then put it onto a carrier board to turn it into a computer, which it's not fair to call it a single board computer at that point. However, I don't really know what can you call it. Modular computer. In order to not make this entirely pretentious or too complicated, I went with the term single board computer or SBC. Hopefully that doesn't come out as weird. I will go through them one at a time. So let's first go through the one that I personally find a little bit more interesting. I will explain the reasons why. For the time being, just go along with it. So this is LattePanda Mu compute module. So this is the package. Let's keep it here like this. My brain is trying to do a 90-degree transposition on the fly. So that's what is a little bit confusing. But anyways, so oh no, no, no. Please don't tear out. Okay. Cool. So inside this, we find a PCB in its natural habitat. All right. So this is LattePanda Mu compute module, right? I hope this is coming along nicely. How about I hold it like this? Hey, look. No, this one does not have autofocus, so the problem is there. Okay, so for the time being, go along with it, right? This is LattePanda Mu compute module. What does it have? It has the Alder Lake N100 SoC. I am calling it SoC because it's not only the processor. Usually, I'll call it like the processor chip, but this is not only the processor chip. It's also the I/O chip, or otherwise you would call it the PCH, platform controller hub. Previously, even before, like if you're from like a dinosaur like me, the North Bridge, South Bridge days. So that would be the South Bridge. So this one chip, this one blue thing that you can see here, this board contains these two chiplets. Those two are, one is the CPU, and one is the platform controller hub, PCH, that is integrated on the same die. This is probably Intel's first effort at the chiplet design. Don't quote me on that, not sure, but it might be the first one as I can try and think of, right? So this is pretty fancy, cool new tech, and the reason I'm mentioning this is because Intel has been like getting his ass kicked for like 2 years straight, maybe more. I don't know. And like since Alder Lake 12th Gen, I don't remember any of their launch going well. And then 13th and 14th gens, those crashes and CPUs burning up, power limits, etc., all those things actually like uh, gotten really bad. It's not really they did not so good, they did actively poor. By the way, I need to go and check my audio. Give me a sec. Seems like sometimes something I am putting on the table is causing a audio spike. Okay, this part is fine. Let me check the devices. Sound, headset, microphone. Okay. Right. Cool. I think, yeah, this should be fine. I'm assuming the audio is fine. In case it's not, let me know. Although, if I think of it purely from utilitarian perspective, I don't really need the audio. However, if I'm streaming, to have the audio functional than non-functional. Advanced audio properties, there is no decibel boost applied. Cool. All right. Anyways, I digress. So, so given that Intel's continuous losses, one thing that in last couple of years came out as something that consistently did well was this small form factor SoCs. It started with This started with uh, some J series processors, the Celeron series processors. A lot of NASes, like budget class NASes, were using it. For example, Assistor, uh, Assistor's NASes, even QNAP and all, they were also using Intel's J series, like Celerons and Atom processors and stuff. Um, this particular one kind of took it a little far. It almost bridged the gap, and I would say I'm using almost kind of pretentiously. I would say it did bridge the gap between what did we consider um, a low power Atom or Celeron chip and what we considered an i3 desktop chip. This is kind of a missing link between the two, and it did very well on that front, being something that can be used in both the places. It has a TDP of 6 to 35, so basically it can be used for a very low power situations. You can limit the power from BIOS, as well as you can use it like basically ramp it up and use it in a bit of a demanding situations, and of course in any places where a spike of demand is needed, where having a higher cost desktop CPU would be like a not the ideal cost benefit, and having a Celeron or Atom, the traditional ones, would also not be sufficient from a utility perspective, because it will throttle, it will not perform as much, it will stutter. So all that said, N100 did fantastically on those and started becoming part of all those mini PCs, mini PC revolutions that I'm seeing. A lot of Chinese made boards, small form factor boards, small computers running Open Media Vault or like Unread or some other kind of stuff, like even Casa OS. What's that OS with also a mini PC with it? I keep on forgetting. Umbrella OS. Fantastic OS, by the way. They're still keeping on working on it. Kind of like it. They're more for like they're approaching it from a design perspective. It needs to look good before it's functional. So not really my kind of approach. However, I do know that there is a severe lack of that particular approach in Linux territory. So I encourage them for trying, and I wish them success. So anyway, so all those people who are trying to basically enrich the ecosystem gets my best wishes. Point being, N100 is kind of fueling that revolution, even though there are a couple of embedded chip from let's go back here. I think this would be better. Okay. Even though I think there were a few AMD chips, embedded chips for similar kind of purposes, they couldn't quite find the balance, exactly what they are going for. So in some of the cases, they have been utilized or used as the small form factor handheld gaming chips, which is fantastic. Again, like two different use cases, but in both the cases, the niche they have found is like pretty good. So AMD found that niche in handheld gaming, Steam Deck and SSROG, if I'm not mistaken, and plenty other of those small handheld gaming consoles, like Linux gaming consoles or Windows gaming consoles, because basically you can install anything on those. They are fantastic for that purpose. Their graphics performance is plenty good. I'd argue it's probably better than what this 12th generation Alder Lake would provide. Like, yeah, the XE series graphics would be better, and if Intel could get its shit together and wanted to compete there, I'm pretty sure they can do that. However, yeah, they're simply not putting the right amount of eggs in the right basket. So that's a different story altogether. Coming back to it, so my point is, N100 is one of the rare cases where everything else is failing, this one is not. So this one is really one of the maker friendly things that you can look forward to if you are trying to build a NAS or any other home lab systems, because there are lots of options that are available. You can go for pre-built mini PCs that you can buy. Okay, how about we go through a few options of what are the mini PCs that are available. Let me switch to my browser, maybe. I think this is you can see this, right? Okay, how about we go to Amazon .in. I'm going especially for Indian website, Indian Amazon site, because what? Say hi to the camera. Come here.
Hi.
You are not visible. Come here. Look here.
Hi. My name is Aditi. I'm just resting here for a bit on the side, so Daddy will ignore me.
Yeah, I'll not ignore you. Why will I ignore you?
Okay. Anyways, I'll help Daddy if Daddy needs me.
Okay, you will help me if I need you. I think I need you to look at if there's any chat in those chat boxes. Is there any?
Yeah, there's one, I guess. Let me read it. Chat. Remember?
Can you read it in your mind? মনে মনে পড়তে পারবে? Okay, so you can sit on this white tool and you can check out the chat. Don't click on anything, okay? All right. Cool. So let's go visit and let's say N100 mini PC. And yeah, this Praho is doing a lot of marketing. Skullcent came in before, and all these things you can see are coming from actually China. These are practically dropships. Um, and what I mean by that is, let's try and go to um, yep, let's go to this. So this is the vendor. If you were not sure where it's coming from, so this is the vendor. If you go to mini PC Nook Nano boards, so yeah, so you can buy even the boards, by the way, and then create the particular form factor or enclosure that you want for it. But you can also get full PC exactly you want it. For example, this is the one, right? This is one of those. This is probably the first one. There are lots of variants, by the way. I couldn't quite find how exactly this Alibaba works, website works. So that's a challenge. But otherwise, these are all those computers that you can see in here. They're coming from there. They allow you to, like, those are all white label, so you can add your own branding exactly the way you want it, and even they will help you with that. So these are all N95, N100, N105. Now N105 and N205 and N305s are upcoming. So those would be the ones that will take over. I think Intel is finally understanding what they need to do, which is good. But so these are the options that you have. In If you don't want to put in any kind of work, is like you just want, hey, just give me something I want to power it up and let it go. So then these are good options. um, yeah, pretty much everything. Like if you're trying to go for looks, or if you are trying to go for the MacBook, sorry, the Mac Mini vibe, so there are lots of options there. Actually, I like it. They're pretty cool, and I do like the fact that they are making it. Basically, they're doing the thing required for penetrating the market, penetrating the wider market, which is something that I'm really bad at gauging or understanding, because I don't quite understand market dynamics. I don't understand people in that sense. What is their preferences and all? What?
Fun fact, you can swing, you can
Oh, you're reading that? Okay.
now you sink like a rock stone. And you better start swimming or you'll sink like a
Yeah.
stone.
Okay, you read.
Rock
Okay.
stone.
Have fun.
And
Let me
so
let me now go into the, so this is about, I'll come back to it, the details of it, like the specific parts and components and stuff. And as you can imagine, this one does not work as it is. You need something to work it with, make it work with. So basically this is the module that sits on a carrier board, and then the carrier board breaks out all the input, like basically the IO and the connectors and everything, and then this becomes a computer. So I'll put it on the side. I'll come back to it. Let me keep it here, maybe. And oh no, I'll put it out of the frame, because time for Radxa. So let's, how about this? Nice. All right. Right. So Radxa is also pretty interesting. Let me try and see if I can find. Yep. Let's fall back. Okay. So this is Radza's website, right? Um, the interesting thing you can see, this is Radza X4, by the way. That's the model number. They make a lot of like as in small form factor computers. Um, Intel N100 and RP2040 inside. This is curious. This is kind of weird. Why? I don't really know. Apart from this. Um, shh! Don't do that. I'm getting distracted. So, except for this GPIO pins, I think that's pretty much the only reason. Um, to be honest, I'd say not wasn't really required. Like you can go along without having like this was a pretty good form factor. This RP2040 does not really add much to the board the way I would consider. What would be the right word for it? Synergize. It doesn't synergize well. It kind of desyncs the entire thing. It makes the board a little bit weirder, and you can no longer fit it inside a Raspberry Pi heat sinks or anything. You cannot do that anyways because the CPU, as you can see, that you cannot see the CPU here. The CPU is mounted on the other side. Um, so that's kind of a bit weird thing going on. They go on and talk about a lot of stuff, but we'll come back to it. First, let's go and unbox this one. I will close my face cam. Okay, let's. This came in a completely sealed package. I think the other one also came in a completely sealed package, but I think I opened the seal just before because I needed to check that products were there or not. The return window was going off, so it was kind of necessary for me to do that. So this is how it comes. This camera is having really like tough challenge trying to focus where to focus. It absolutely can focus, but I think it has some kind of weighing mechanism where it needs to focus. Let me try and tune that. Let me try and tune the focusing algorithm. What happened, bro?
I'm watching this.
Oh,
That reading thing is done.
you read it?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
No. It's
Focus,
pretty
absolute focus, automatic, continuous. I don't have a control for focusing and say the center priority. That's sad. The focus needed to be center priority instead of the like on average. It's trying to average the whole section and then try seeing that this part of the canvas is like more part of it. Hello.
It's pretty smooth.
Yeah, it's pretty smooth. All right, so let's open the box and
Then
we
inside
see
the
that
packets, you don't know what's inside the packets.
we know what's inside the packet.
I don't know.
All right.
So inside the box, there's another packet.
Inside the box, there's an. I actually like this box. This we can use this box for various other purposes. We can keep something. In
Yeah,
it.
we can recycle it.
Very useful. We don't need to recycle it. We actually can use it.
Yeah,
We
now.
can put other stuff inside of.
Yeah, this thing, you can put things inside, delicate things inside.
Yeah, we can put delicate things inside.
A small delicate thing. Oh, like that.
We can put also big delicate things like you inside. Yeah, no, you can actually fit inside it.
I have to turn into a small ball then.
I'll turn you into a small ball.
I'll die.
No. I'll give you oxygen, don't worry.
Yeah. And then you just faking.
All right. So fantastic thing about this is that it came with a RTC battery, RTC cell. That is also like well insulated and all. This I really love it. Like they made sure that this is because it's x86 board. Huh?
Yeah, and the color of this looks just like a child's button
What?
to turn on some other robots.
That's, you're getting over excited.
That looks big like that.
Yeah, yeah. Sit down then and watch. রেস্ট না হয়েছে তোমার?
মামি একটু কথা বলছি তাতে এটা আসে।
Okay. But no talking. Okay? Just watch. Alright. Cool. So, love the fact that it came with RTC battery. I see some residue. Some kind of a cleaning residue, cleaning gel or something residue. If you can see the, how do I show the? Yes. So there's some kind of a residue here. It's not really wet. It's probably some kind of epoxy that got stuck completely. But please don't do that, Baba. Then I cannot concentrate. Why are you whispering? No, don't. Oh, that is more like distracting. Don't do that. You can sit here. You can like as in if you have any question you can ask.
I can't see the gel.
You can see the gel. You can look. You can see some kind of like a chokchake thing, like the
the
shiny glittering thing.
Yeah.
So that part it's not wet, but it's like they put something in there that
To
makes
make it hard and make the shape.
Probably. But so the thing is that's there. I wasn't expecting something like I'm not sure what is that. But other than that, I like the fact that it came with RTC battery. It's still connected. I'm not sure whether I should remove it. I would not remove it. I'll let it be. Because removing it will reset the BIOS, and I'm not sure I want to do that. Let it be for the time being. So here, the SoC is on the other side. This is this part of the side of the board that we have been looking at for on all the material, and it came with a nice Wi-Fi module with antennas pre-applied. These are the antennas, right? Wi-Fi and Bluetooth antenna. This is pretty sick. This is basically good to go, like right out of the box. This is good to go.
Yes.
You can just power it on and it will work.
Yes, it also looks pretty good.
I'm not sure whether the eMMC, so this eMMC? No, I think this is the memory module. This is the RAM, and this is the eMMC. This is the eMMC, which probably contains something, either Bianbu or some other Chinese OS. Doesn't matter. What I mean is that I'd actually really appreciate if it is ready to boot. If it is ready to boot, power it on, connect your display, and it readily boots up. That will be pretty sick. All right, cool. With that said, let's now go into the board review a little bit. I'll give a pause, have some coffee, and then I'll come back. So this is the Radxa. Let me put it this way. And this is the LattePanda.
Okay, Daddy, I will guard this.
You don't have, I'm guarding this already. I'm not going anywhere.
In case if any ants come and you can't see.
Hmm?
In case if any ants come and you can't see. As in here, I do better eyesight with the light. Remember that bamboo button?
Everything you're saying are audible through these microphones anyway. So there's no point in whispering. If you want to say something, Be confident and say it out.
Okay. Let's remember the bamboo part
It's
is
not bamboo. It's bamboo.
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 Bamboo part is pretty funny. He used to be bamboo or something, something, just extra, and then just skip to that. Skip that part too. She funny, Daddy.
Hmm.
That's pretty funny part.
Okay.
It making me laugh.
Okay. Hmm.
Chat.
Is the web page in? So this is the bamboo OS homepage.
Wow, that's beautiful, right?
Is that?
Yeah, it
I'm
looks like
happy that you like it.
yeah. There's rivers and even desert mountains.
Oh,
Do you
that's the
ever,
wallpaper.
yeah, do you ever imagine the going there,
Oh
people?
no, I don't see any trees or anything. I don't think it will be very easy to live there.
No, we could just have a little bit. If we need a little bit AC, we could just go there and just come back and
Little
have some
AC,
AC.
yeah. The entire I'm pretty sure whichever planet is this, the entire planet it has AC. By the way, can you move the mouse a little bit? The screen will come off. Otherwise, the screen went off. Just move. হয়ে গেছে, done. অতখানি করতে হয় না। It's okay. Hey, somebody said something. Can you read?
Yeah, it says welcome to
Mm-hmm.
Daddy.
Below that, somebody said something. Look.
Daddy, Kia Shuno, YouTube AI, AI, no, EI Leaf System Grow. I don't know what is that.
অনিকেত বোস দাদা, তুমি কি শুধু ইউটিউবে লাইভ স্ট্রিম করো? ওটা কি ল্যাটেপান্ডা সিগমা? নো। ওকে, সো অনিকেত, না আমি শুধু ইউটিউবে লাইভ স্ট্রিম করি না অ্যাকচুয়ালি। আমি এখন
English.
নো, হি আস্কড মি ইন বেঙ্গলি।
Oh, it's just one more cup.
হ্যাঁ,
One more cup.
one more has come. Okay, I think I will open up the chat in here maybe or something,
Yeah, say something. Whoever
or I
beside
can
you only know English. Whoever beside you only knows English.
whoever beside you only knows English. Oh, so no, she is my daughter. She knows because of new media and all the Peppa Pigs and stuff. She mostly speaks English. Uh, Weak in Bengali, but yeah, I can speak English, Bengali, Hindi pretty much.
I can
All right.
actually speak Hindi a little.
Really? Tell me something in Hindi.
আমার সাথে করবে?
That's Bangla.
Oh, Bangla. I think I didn't know this is Bangla.
Okay, cool. Let me answer that দাদা, whatever he said. He said আমি কি ইউটিউবে শুধু স্ট্রিম করি না, আমি অলসো টুইচে স্ট্রিম করি। লেট মি রাইট ডাউন দ্য টুইচ ইউআরএল. You can go and see that it's streaming there as well. Twitch. সো টুইচ টিভিতে আমি অলসো স্ট্রিম করি, আর এখন সেটা লাইভ স্ট্রিম হচ্ছে। আর the thing that I'm using for live streaming them is something called xplex.me. Let me also just go ahead and write that down. Yeah, so I wrote xplex myself.
তোমার keyboard sound also করে যাচ্ছে।
That's okay. By the way, thanks for reminding me. I need to go and check if my Twitch title is all right. What does the title say? Welcome to. Okay, it doesn't matter. This is cool. This is fine. Right. So it is multi-streaming. in multiple places. And the second part is if it is LattePanda Sigma. No, this is LattePanda Mu. This is not Sigma. Sigma is actually a single board computer, and that's the part I was initially explaining, that this is not actually a single board computer. This is a modular computer. Even though I'm calling it SBC because I don't know what would be a better term for it other than that, right? So I'm calling it single board computer because this is a single board computer. This is a Radxa X4. Radxa X4. Let me go and switch to Radxa X4. Yeah. So this is Radxa's X4, and this one is LattePanda Mu, right? The other one. So yeah, this is a modular computer. It requires a board to be functioning. Let me bring out the board, by the way. The boards, I have them here. Yikes. They have been waiting for quite a while. I'll just put them here. Let me take the compute modules aside and put down the board. So this, I have opened this before because I was very excited about it, and I opened it and I was, by the way, thanks Aniket for watching and asking questions. I love answering questions, so please keep it coming. Do I know you? Or maybe you have, I remember the name commenting on one of my videos, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm mistaken, please excuse me, but that's what I remember. Anyway, so this is one of the boards. By the way, let me go back to showing the thing. So this is the light carrier board for LattePanda Mu. So the compute module sits in here, slots in here. I'm not going to put it right now. We'll do those things later. So this is the light carrier board. This is open source. You can go and find out its source on GitHub. I will show that after. Hang around. So this is the light board, and there's also a bigger, larger dev board, which is completely like all the IOs and all the expansions and everything is kind of broken out in there. That's less for being like a single board computer use case, more for people to basically build solutions on top of LattePanda Mu. So that's probably the intent with the dev board. I also have that as well here. So, oh, thanks, man. Thanks for the comments. I really appreciate it. I actually read all of your comments, so that's how I kind of remember your name. I think I saw your name. Thanks for that. Like I absolutely fine for you to ask the questions in Bengali. I'm fine with Bengali, but in general, I'm gonna continue speak in English. In case you need explanation on something, please let me know. I'll go back and explain those parts. That's one of the things that I was initially explaining, that it's very hard for me to speak to the camera in the void because I don't really know exactly how much I'm getting through. Usually when I'm speaking with somebody face to face, I can measure, I can understand that, okay, maybe I should tone down or maybe I should explain a little bit more and stuff like that. That goes out of the window when I'm speaking to the camera. I basically have to assume or pretend that somebody's there and they're getting it. So in case it's not the case, please let me know and I will love to go back and explain it all together again. All right, so this is the board. This is the light board. Again, more detailed review, I'll come back to it. For the time being, let's just put it aside and let's pull out the bigger board, that is the, I don't have enough space in here. That's the dev board. All right. Yikes. So let me move this thing here. Wow. And this is what comes in the box. these are two SATA cable. This is if I'm not mistaken, this is a SATA power breakout, and this is an NVMe, like PCIe 4.0 lane to NVMe. I'll open it. I'll open it after to show what it is. This board I had opened already to see everything is all right, and oh, nice. That's good. Cool. So this is the board, that is the dev board, and there's also a manual, but I'm gonna keep it aside for the time being. Who cares? Like, of course, now you do have to care. The manual is very important for understanding what the jumpers and etc. are doing here. This is not a consumer board, so like you would be having a really bad time if you decided to throw out the um, manual. However, for the time being, it's not going to be as useful. We are not deep diving it inside of the dev board today. I don't think we have the time or affordability to do that. But we will still like look around it, right? So let's come back to it. So let's keep these boards side by side, maybe like this, something like this. I think this can go a little bit farther. All right. Right. So let me put those accessories aside. I said that I will open the NVMe adapter. Let's try and open it and see what's inside. All right. This is a screw, and this sits in a 4-lane slot, something like this. Oh, sorry, like this, and opens up this 4 PCIe lanes to be used as an NVMe for this NVMe port, with which you can use an SSD, like NVMe SSD, as a storage medium. So that's fantastic of them to include this in the box. Otherwise, you would need one to use it. I don't intend to use this particular port with NVMe. I have other connectors like host bus adapters and stuff to be used with this. However, this is a fantastic addition, and this is very general purpose. So it's not that you only have to use it with this board. You can use this anywhere there's a 4-lane PCI, practically anywhere where there's a 4-lane PCI lanes. You can just like break it out and like put an NVMe drive on that. So as in, like, it can also work on here, like the other board which has, can it show? Yeah, it does have this 4-lane PCIe. You can also put it here and it will work just the same. So that's good. I appreciate that. This is a fantastic addition. But with that said, with that out of the way, let's focus on the boards, right? So first and foremost, we kind of had a look at this. So this is the main SoC, and again, I'm calling it SoC because it has the main processor as well as the IO die and GPU and NPU and everything all together, for here. Only thing it doesn't have is the memory, and the memory is, if I'm not mistaken, let me see. Is this the memory? That one is that one is probably the eMMC. This is the memory. So this is the memory, and this is some kind of a hub. Seems like an IO hub. There's a sticker on top. I'm going to go ahead and remove that sticker. I don't think the sticker is necessary. This says something on the line of, just give me a sec, all right? I'll let me try and pull out my makeshift uh, microscope, which is a phone with a really good macro camera. Right. Mhm. ITE ITB613E. ITE. Let me quickly have a look at what it is. TE ITB613E. ITE or ITC? Not sure. Let me see whether it's ITE or ITC. It's definitely ITE. I don't need a microscope after all. IT8613E. 8613E. Okay. Um, managing wide variety of I/O functions it facilitates. Okay, let's go to this and see. Nice. Okay, let me change the page. Yeah, found the IC. So this is practically an IO chip, as I said. Right. Keyboard and mouse interface, serial port, parallel port, and yeah, hardware monitoring, SM bus, etc. I think. Yeah, so fair enough. I couldn't quite like I wasn't very sure because ideally I would expect this chip to be on the carrier board, but I think I the reason I say that because usually all those IO chips are supposed to be the job of the carrier board vendors to break out the IO the way they want it, and they would only want the primary basically lanes broken out from the main chip, right? Oh, all right, cool. The delay here is too much. I'm not sure the Twitch would be much better on that either, but on that front, the reason is I have the delay, as in it's not like intended delay. The reason for the delay is I can go very low latency, but in that case, you cannot have the CC enabled. The delay that I have right now, it allows for the automatic chapter marker. So basically, YouTube to inject automatic chapters and closed caption, basically make all those, make my words into text. Basically, what do you call that? Transcription? Yeah, all these things. But it does make live watching a little bit problematic. Feedback taken from the next time on. I think I can suppress that and just make it more lower latency if that makes the experience better, bit better. One thing I have seen that for most streamers in YouTube, stream delay is much more than Twitch. That's why I asked you if you stream somewhere else too. Right, so that's the reason. So YouTube has three different ways, modes you can stream. One is like they call it normal mode, which is, technically speaking, it is normal mode, where they take the stream, they process it, they basically, um, unlike Twitch, which does not do any kind of encoding, YouTube actually live encodes the video. So if you're streaming in 4K, they will also create a HD stream and 720p stream and a 480p stream and the 360p streams and all these things. They're basically live encoding happening, like depending on what particular stream that you're watching, right? So that takes time and resources to get done, and it also introduces a little bit of delay. Aside from that, there's also like the, as I said, the transcription and various other stuff that gets injected into that stream. So if you want all that full feature, then the stream will have some delay. And then there is a second mode where it's like a lower latency, and that one I think cuts out on, it cuts down on the transcription and something else, I forgot what that is, but still keeps the, basically you can switch the quality of the stream, so transcoding is still there. And then there is like a ultra low latency, where there's no, there is no uh, basically you get what you see, whatever is being streamed, that's what you get, and there is a lot less flexibility for the viewer. So I usually was not considering to go with those options, but if that latency is adding up, and if you can tell me exactly how much that latency is, will be helpful, because I cannot monitor that by myself. Because you see, if I play both the streams here, me playing the stream itself will make my stream, outgoing stream, have a bit more latency, so the test would be invalid. So please do let me know how much the stream latency is, and so that I have a better idea of how to make that trade-off and balance. But it's absolutely fine that if you're watching from Twitch, I don't need you, like, as in, I'm not going to force you to, like, no, you have to watch it from YouTube only. In fact, I am also streaming it to my own personal YouTube account, where I keep all the streams as personal life log, like things that I have done at a particular point in time, in that kind of way. So that's also not for even any viewer, right? So transcoding option for YouTube. Oh no, so if this is when I choose whether my stream would allow transcoding or not. So if I allowed it, that's when I start the stream. So if I had to change it, I have to go back, stop the stream, and then disable doing that, basically go for a lower latency and then start streaming. In which case, you will not get the option for transcoding. The stream that you're watching, you will get on the bottom right, there's a gear icon. You can go select which quality of the stream that you want to watch. What is a carrier board? Okay, I'll go through your question one by one, but I'm just going through the, I tried to find for option for transcoding stream in YouTube, but couldn't find it. Does that have some special name? Again, the stream quality, right? The gear icon on the bottom left, bottom right of the stream, besides the full screen part, there should be like 720p, 1080p, etc., etc. স্ট্রিম করার চেষ্টা করেছিলাম উইদাউট ট্রান্সকোডিং, কিন্তু ওই অপশনটা খুঁজে পাচ্ছি না. It will not be telling, it will not tell you exactly the stream options are. Okay, let me see if I can show this to you. No, not from here. I have it on a different computer. Anyway, so when you start the streaming, where you get the stream key, go live, when you press the button go live, and then you will get a, come to a page where it will show a preview window. There will be some graphs and stuff, and then there will be on the left, bottom left corner, there will be like, this is your stream key, this is your endpoint, etc. And then there are three options. What's the mode that you, normal mode, low latency mode, and something else, right? Ultra low latency mode or something. So it doesn't readily say that these are the things, but if you go hover on that, click on that, then it will tell you what there's probably is a question mark. If you click on that, it will tell you what it does and what it doesn't. So in that way you can, it's not very intuitive. There's a reason why streaming on YouTube is not that popular, YouTube couldn't break into the streaming market. They just didn't put enough. Like, it's not a technical limitation. In fact, technically, YouTube is ahead in the game compared to Twitch. The codecs they use, the amount of flexibility that you have going back in stream, etc. On the live stream, you can just basically choose to. I Most of the time, one show I start half an hour or 1 hour late, but I start from the beginning, watch it at 2x. I watch the whole stream in practically in 2x while the streaming is going on. By the time the stream ends, I also in watching it. That would not be possible with Twitch. So there are lots of flexibility with YouTube that is not there in Twitch. Technologically, it's advanced, but the user experience wise, YouTube sucks. From streamers' perspective as well as the stream viewers' perspective in some cases, mostly from the streamers' perspective. So people don't find it comfortable to stream, and which is why it's like chicken versus egg problem. Because that's the case, not many people stream it, so that's not many people watch it. That's why like the YouTube doesn't put enough effort into it, and cycle continues, and that's why people don't stream it, and etc etc. Anyways, enough on that. You ask some questions. Also, bitrate is better here. Not necessarily. That's the thing. The bitrate is exactly the same. The same bit by bit. Everything is going exactly the same. What Twitch isn't doing is that Twitch is not transcoding it at all. It's passing through. So whatever data that I'm sending from my side, you're seeing it as is, which is definitely going to be better than YouTube coming in the middle and transcoding the content into multiple different format, which introduces, like, makes the quality worse. I got some mic sync problem in Twitch. Interesting. Not sure. So I will go back and watch the stream. But thanks for letting me know. These are the feedbacks that actually helps me very much, because again, I'm like new to streaming, right? I'm not a seasoned streamer, so there will be a lot of mistakes. These are not hard to fix, but these are problematic to fix in time, or eventually like getting to know before that happens. So please let me know all those things, and I will try to fix them from the next stream onwards. And as I said, I will stream pretty much every Sunday, 8:30 Indian Standard Time. Around that time, 8:30 onwards, 8:30 to 9, I'll start and stream for an hour or two. Yeah. Um, so I will take a look into that, exactly how it went. If the audio is clipping, audio is too high, too low, there's a delay or lag. Maybe look, one thing that can happen here is that this camera, which is a Raspberry Pi based UVC camera that I made, I have a video on that. So that's this one. The quality is pretty good, but there might be a slightly lag on this. I will tell you how you can find that out. You'll see this camera, and so when I say this, I'll do this, right? This and this and this. There's a lag on this one, I suppose. So this is something for me to fix. I'll do that after I'm done streaming. Try to what is sorry? Please explain the difference between the light carrier and full function evaluation carrier. Right. Let's go back to that. Right. We have been not paying much attention to the actual stuff. So if we go here, before I go into the details of what the difference between those two boards are, you can see, I'll turn off my face cam just so that you can see it better. So if you take a look here, these are all different kinds of carrier boards. This is the compute module. This is the compute module here. This is a NAS carrier which has 8 apparently NVMe drives. Then there's a router carrier which has not enough drives, but it has more Ethernet ports. And one second. And there's a graphic carrier where you can attach a graphic card and maybe like play video games. I don't know. And there's also a cluster. So if you want to create like a Kubernetes or something cluster, it will be um, camera delay is easily fixable by delaying the overhead camera and screen capture. Yeah, you're right. So I need to know exactly what the delay is like. Like, if it's like a couple of milliseconds, I will be able to fix that. Are you the same person, by the way? I am seeing two different IDs. No worries whatsoever either way. So I will figure those things out and fix it after. It is a little bit troublesome to do that on stream. So yeah. Um, right. So this is the cluster carrier. So all this to say, like the reason I'm showing this is because the entire point of carrier board is to the make the compute module be a versatile choice, and then allow the users to figure out what they want to use it for, right? So with that said, most of the time you want to use it for a particular use case. Module kind of takes the middle ground of, hey, maybe the person using it is a moderate user who is trying to look for a mini PC and would basically want to DIY a computer by themselves and using this module. What would they do? That's what the mini carrier board, that's the methodology for mini carrier board is. This does not bind you on a particular lopsided choice. Like there's no way too much Ethernet port or way too much like M.2 port or PCIe lane or anything. It's a like little bit of everything. You use this board if you basically want to run it as a daily driver and don't have a particular like, why are you using it? Like, I don't know, I just want to use a computer. That's when you use this board, right? So I know this is not a technical explanation, and the reason I'm saying this is because there is no technical explanation for this. This is subjective for the most part. This is a choice that the developers made, and what kind of choice dictated what kind of outcome that comes out ended up being. So give me a sec, let me shut off my face cam here, otherwise this is not visible. Oh, right. And this is the dev board. The entire point of the dev board is to enable developers to build on top of this compute module. The purpose of this dev board is not to be your daily driver. This platform is for people who are writing firmware for this board, like writing BIOS or like what they call that fit firmware something tool. Um, so if you are working on this board, if you want to make software for this board, I want to try out different configurations. For example, you see this particular pogo pin over here, these pins, they go like, you can press on them like this. They basically touch these pads over here. These pads get connected over here, and that is basically external SPI. So you get to talk to the processor directly over these communication lines. This is very good for debugging. If you are working on something and want to debug the processor, or looking inside of like what is getting through, what is not, those kind of situations, this board will enable you for that. As you can see, this one does not have that, because this is for a consumer. This is for somebody who is trying to use the board, not develop on the board, right? So this light carrier board does not have any of those developer specific features, which this board does. So, and that is not the only thing. So this entire carrier board has practically only the features that one would need, except for one thing. So this I squared C and the UART lines. This is the I squared C and this is the UART connections, which sometimes, like as a maker, you might want to connect to other devices and get through. Like it's good of them for adding those things. They don't want to completely like make it not maker friendly, just consumer device. So that's good in a way. But here, all those things are broken out in a much more like convenient for developer kind of way. So these entire headers that row of headers that you see, those are all different internal GPIO ports. So these are the all the GPIO ports are available through these headers. There's also other things all over the board. I will go through them one by one. But and there's also the jumpers. Here's the jumper. Here's the jumper. Some of the fan headers are also there. But the point is the jumpers enable you to make, and this deep switch, I think I need to put it up close for you to see. This is a switchboard practically, like very small, but you can see 4 switches up there. You can basically put them 1 or 0 position, and if you can see the writing, what's written, yeah, if you can see what's written over here is that whether you want to enable SATA 1, SATA 2, or you want to enable the PCIe. Do you want to use the board BIOS or do you want to use the core BIOS? Do you want to use the M.2 Wi-Fi or do you want to use a second RJ45, that is the Ethernet? So these are the choices. So if you are working on the board and you are trying to make something out of it, then these are the switches that you need to toggle. For example, if you are working on a BIOS and you want to switch that BIOS up, like you wrote on this board's BIOS, a new BIOS, and you want to override the BIOS that comes with the module itself. So you can do that. And once you have done that, you can create your own board, like you can transplant that to a light board or some other kind of board, and it will work. So those are the reasons for creating a dev board like this. This is not for consumer use. This is for developers. I got it because I actually want to work on this platform a little bit. I love this particular form factor and the module form factor, uh, and I'm pretty sure I will get some things done by next year. I'm trying to work on some interesting but really crazy projects. Hang on there. I think I have something to show on that note. Let me try and find out if I can get the so this is a very early schematic of something. Please give me a bit to set it up. Right. So let's go back to this, and anyways, I think this is fine. I can just go ahead and talk about it. So I was thinking about something before this board came out, right? I was thinking about 3 different modes of computers. Like one is called Thea, so this is the one that you're seeing. One is called Ria, and then there's one called Gaia. So Gaia would traditionally be the build platform, so which is comparable to the dev board that you have seen. But Thea and Ria, those are basically utility. So Thea is very bare bone. This is where the compute module goes. This is not actual schematic. This is one afternoon I got bored and basically created some rough sketches in Excalibur. So this is nothing serious. This is not the final form, but this has all the technical details that you basically can draw inspiration from. This is the inspiration itself. If something serious comes out of it, it might. I'm just showing it because hey, the stream is supposed to be the underground content, right? I'm probably not going to show this to the video, like the main channel, for a long time, uh, until something basically comes out of it. Anyways, the point is, the Thea is going to be a build box. Like you take this thing, you just create one layer of abstraction which allows people to start working with it. It gives a bare basic form, but it's still not presentable. You still need to do something on top of it. For example, if this is the heart or the brain, you call it, so this thea is basically gives it the body. It still doesn't have any clothes to wear, so it's not presentable, but now it's a human. So in that kind of way, analogically, that's what where it's at, right? So what it does, it breaks out like basically USB PD interface. It has two of them. It also allows you to use a barrel jack from like up to 20 volt. It uses HDMI from the DDI-B, and because the DDI-A being used for something else. Also, it has the Ethernet HSIO 6. All those, that part I will come back. This is again very interesting bit, so I'll come back to it. Give me a sec. Right. Vicarious. What are the prices? What are the prices? Let me go and check out. I forgot the prices. I bought them the month before. Like then they were basically sitting around, and I haven't been able to. Okay, so with active heatsink, if you use the light board with active heatsink and no other thing like no display or power supply, because I don't really think that you need to buy the byte from them, then it's 190 or basically $200. $200. I don't know where you're commenting from, like in whatever the currency conversion would be in your local currency. If you're Indian, it roughly comes down to 22,000 in if you try to buy it locally. I think I got it locally, as in got it from robu.in. um, so yeah, and if you go with the full function evaluation career, then it will be a little bit more. It's close to like 27,000, 28,000. It was like, I'm not talking about directly like the conversion of dollar into INR, because that's not how it works. There are some taxes and stuff that marks it up a little bit. So if you just go by the dollar conversion, it will be much less than that, like around 20k or something. This one would be 20, 21k, but there's a significant amount of tax that you have to pay for imports and all. So imports, GST and stuff. So that takes it down to like up to 30 or something. The price kind of varies if you want to buy it in India, by the way. The price is not basically stagnant here. Depends on the availability and stuff. And if you are trying to buy it now, I would say the better place for you to buy it, like Robu probably is not stocking it anymore. So probably buying it from what is it called? If you're as a business, you're buying it with GST, then you can buy it from Element 14. And if you are trying to buy it as a solo, like a hobbyist, then Hubtronics or Evelta, if they're stocking it, it might be a better option, better choice, right? So that's around the prices. Radxa also, so Radxa's price is comparable but lesser, if I am not mistaken. Um, wasn't it on Evelta? Wait, yeah. So I need to go to India, then I get to choose Evelta, and then I can open it. So I bought it from Evelta, and it shows 7,000. It was like, wait, mine one is this, right? Yeah, so it was with tax and everything, it was close to 10,000. This is highly cost effective. The Radza is highly cost effective. It's like if you are not into like, hey, I need to screw around with my SBC and make like a custom 3D printed enclosure and all this kind of stuff. If you just want to go ahead and use it, if you want to make a NAS or a Jellyfin media server or something like that, this is beautiful. Like hands down, much better than ARM SBCs, especially because you can just go ahead and flash an OS like whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be board specific, which is a big problem. The device tree thingy is a big problem for the ARM SBCs, ARM and RISC-V as well, which because of the entire how BIOS and UEFI works, not a concern for x86. That makes it, you want to use Ubuntu, you want to use Windows, you want to use whatever, you can just go ahead and do that. And that is That is fantastic. So I don't know whether it comes with OS. I suppose I have, because I have the eMMC version. I'm expecting it to come with Bianbu, but even if it doesn't really matter. Probably all those things I'll probably do that on the next stream, because I think I'm running low on my social battery. Also, can this do 1080p 60 streaming, a dedicated streaming for power compute? Yeah, 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 yeah. It can do like 4K 60. I just like to evaluate basic. Yeah, yeah. You can absolutely can. Um, so the GPU included in N100 is actually, like, let me go and show you a little bit. By the way, I'm keeping it aside. I'll probably come back and basically end the stream there for the time being, after I evaluate those. But let's show you uh, Intel N100's specs. So if you can see, GPU, Intel UHD graphics is 700 megahertz. So these are basically, this is actually the Xe cores, the one that is in ARC, if I'm not mistaken. So, and it has 24 execution units, which is like the A38, which is sorry, A380, which is the dedicated card, which probably has 32 execution unit, if I'm not mistaken. So basically, it's comparable to almost a dedicated card. This is actually really good. This is a really good value CPU for dedicated purposes. Exactly that kind of use cases where you like, I want this to sit here and do this one exact thing. If you want to do that, this is fantastic for that. You just, for 10,000 bucks you have a full computer, right? So 10,000 bucks is a full computer, full x86 computer with GPU, with all sorts of expansions if you want it, like USB 3 and all. It has a, I'm sorry. It has Ethernet ports and all these things, and yeah, this is completely gonna be fine for those use cases. NAS, media center, streaming and stuff. You can and you should. And if you do that, please come back on another stream and let me know how it went. I would actually love to see that, how it went. For me, this particular board is this one is gonna be my wife's mini PC. She had a laptop that kind of like took a hit, so she will have to fix that. It's not that we don't have enough computers, but she's kind of very interested about using this as the daily driver. She's like, I want to try that one. I want to see how it goes. I'm like, okay, fine, we'll build that out. So that's why I'm kind of putting all these things out there, because actually need to turn it into a mini PC that she will use. Most of the time she works on the browser, like basically Google Docs and stuff, keeping the bookkeeping and all this kind of things. So it'll probably be more than fine. She's not gaming and anything, so it'll be probably fine for that. Anyways, so going back to the things that I was talking about, right? Okay, your analogies are mind blowing. Thank you. Electron comp 16K তে পাওয়া যাচ্ছে. Which one are you getting for 16K? You and your wife work in the same domain. No, she is from finance background. I am from everything background. I don't know. I start like I graduated in physics. I then went into computers. Wrote software for a long while. Now hardware's interest me more. I don't know. I took a retirement this year. I have been a software engineer for like almost 14 years or something. So then I was like, okay, no, enough. I'm having a midlife crisis. Let me switch it up and go. I still write software, but anyways, I was interested about things shaping up in a different direction, and seemed like a time when I have the energy and enthusiasm and everything needed to go try out something new. So that's why I'm trying all these things out. Right now, these are the things I am working on, like all the different videos and every other projects. Um, I'm bad at, as you can say, that I'm pretty bad at being by the book. I'm a bit weird in that sense, but I've never regretted that. Chasing my dreams has always given me the basically the way to level myself up. I was doing just fine as a physics graduate. I did not need to switch it up, but computers seemed fun, so I went after computers. I went after software, and then I'm going after hardware. Anyways, probably longer than the answer you needed, but she worked in finance background. Now both of us are working towards making a creative engineering work. So she is very much interested about these domains just as much as I am. So she is my canary in the coal mine. So basically, whatever I'm explaining in here, I have done that many a time in front of her, and realized what are the questions, what she finds interesting or doesn't. Um, Ideally, I didn't think these would be interesting to talk about or stream about, but she was the one like, hey, sometimes I'm interested about these things, and I wish somebody spoke about these things, so why don't you do that? And I'm like, okay, I'll do that. So in that way, she's kind of like the one that gives me the inspirations and ideas, and basically be like, is the first person to basically hear me out on these kind of things, but not originally from the same domain. Anyways, um, I'm not sure which one did you mean. So by the way, I'm answering on Twitch for anybody on YouTube if they're confused. I am multi-streaming, so you can see it on twitch.tv/developer, or you can watch it on Breakerspace as well. And the thing that I'm using for streaming is something called Xplex that I wrote myself. It's called xplex.me, xplex.me. Uh, so there's that. Anyways, right. Coming back to the electronics comp 16 পাওয়া যাচ্ছে. If you get it for 16K, I don't know which one, whether that is the light board or eval board. If you get a light board, good. If you get it eval board, fantastic. I didn't even know that it was going there for that cheap. And if you mean that is the Radxa X4, then I would say that it is actually costlier than it needs to be, because it should be cheaper than that. I got it for roughly around 11 something. Anyways, with that said, so this is Thea. My idea was I'll break out two PCIe lanes, two 4x PCIe lanes, which you can then use for any other purposes. This is the like the bottom side of the board. Sorry, this is the top side of the board. You can mount like a thermal solution on top on this side. The other side gets broken out into connectors and stuff. This is RTC battery and front panel headers and fans and all the other kind of stuff. That is basically all the useful things that you need to break out will be broken out, and the stuff that, for example, the power management and everything, that will be on this board itself. Right? So just by powering it on and basically adding the basic connectors, network, HDMI, and the power, along with a hub where you connect USB like mouse and keyboard, you get to make it work as a computer. But if you really want the value out of it, you get to choose that you can add a network switch, like 10 gig network switch on this port, and like a 4-port HBA, like host bus adapter for a SATA RAID on the other one. It's that kind of use case. You have to figure that out, and you know that I want to use it for this specific purpose. Then Thea would be kind of the right solution for you. You want to customize it. You want to further customize it and make it turn it into your solution. That's where this one shines. On the other hand, this RIA, I think it's kind of being covered by my face, so I'll turn it off. So this one, on the other hand, is a little bit on the like, just take it and run with it. This is, how about that? Yeah. Take it and run with it. This is complete solution. It's already broken out into pieces, and you want to run a NAS. If you want a NAS, completely solid state, 4 NVMe drives, along with Ethernet, there is 2.5 gig Ethernet, and HDMI, USB-C with DisplayPort support, and the like DC jack, DC battle jack, RTC battery, GPIOs, RGB LEDs. Basically, you can have the headers as well, like You can have a shell enclosure which supports RGB LED, and they can be powered from here. Front panel headers like adding microphone, headphone, USB ports, etc., on the front panel on the shell. Also the fan connectors and boot selection, etc. This is a TPM. TPM is kind of required for running Windows if you want to run Windows, and the serial I/O. So this one was pretty much like a all-in solution that is already completely done. Like you just power it on and start working with it. Populate its drives. Probably it will come with an OS as well, something like Umbrella OS or something, and it's ready to go. This is for people who, like, I'm not really totally into the home lab thing, the personal server thing, but I'm willing to try. I want to dip my toe. How do I do that? So for them, this would be like a kind of a gateway drug. Like you start with this and figure out how much deeper you want to go with. You can either go on one side, that is this, where you're like, no, I have a special thing in mind, or you can go the other way where you totally go into um, this, right, where you go build on top of the software and hardware on top of these modules. Anyways, this SoC is fantastic and I really love it, and that's why um, I think it's interesting to keep an eye out, because there are new boards coming out, new chipsets, new chips coming out from Intel that are the next generation of this. They're called 105 and 205 and 305. Let me quickly take a look at that. um, I'm gonna close this one down. Okay, so I think it was announced a couple of days back, 2 3 days back, if I'm not mistaken. uh, there is not enough media buzz around it. But I mean, not 305, by the way, not 305. 305 has come out last year, so that's not the one. So this is the one, and there are other ones, not this. So look out for N01 105 based boards. So that's gonna be the next thing. um, right, right. So I am very interested about that part, and probably I'll make something out of that. Cool. Is there anything else do you guys want to see for today? Because I think the deep dive about the particular breakout of what these things are, like the IO ports and everything, I was probably gonna go down there that route next week. But if you're interested about something specific, I can cover it. I have like 15 20 minutes at most. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat. And yeah, thanks for watching, by the way. Thanks for posting your questions. I really love it. I know this is a new channel, and I don't really make any announcement or anything anywhere, so it's hard for you to know when it is being streamed. But roughly every Sunday evening, you can expect to come here and see me streaming. If you follow me on Twitter, you can tag me on Twitter, or X. I don't want to call it X. Twitter is fine. X doesn't make sense for me. Um, and you can tag me there, and in case I'm not streaming, you can let me know so that I know somebody was looking forward to it. Right. So I think I will go through the tech specs and interfaces. Huh, interestingly, in some other stream you can share your backstory. That will be helpful as motivation, because as you said you changed your background 3 times. That must be very challenging. It's very interesting, but yeah, I get it. I don't think there will be a different stream where I'll share that. I don't mind sharing it anyways. If you ask me specific questions, I would share as much as I can. This is my IRL stream as well. Like, I I do play video games, but I don't think video games are the time when I get to talk randomly about the things that I want to talk about. So while I'm showing you or reviewing hardware or something, if you wanna ask me questions that are a little bit personal, I don't really mind it. Worst case scenario, I'll probably tell you like, hey guys, I can't get to that. Like I cannot talk about it. That probably is the thing. Like other than that, I encourage you to ask me questions that you might be curious about, and as much as I can, I would want to answer it. There is not a different IRL or personal stream that is going to happen. I don't have that kind of time, and I would be very uncomfortable to do that. Why would people want to know about me anyway, right? Who am I? So, if like being in this stream, you are curious, please do ask, and you can call it. I'm even encouraging you to do that. So, if you want to ask me questions, I'm more than happy to answer. And if that motivates you, even more than happy to answer, because that's exactly end of the that's the intention. All I want to do is basically create or encourage or like push the newer generation of makers and builders in India, because India really, like, we have a lot of, we have a ton of engineers that are software engineers. We need more makers and builders and people who want to see engineering as a general purpose, bringing about change, like make the world in your own image, than just getting selected in a consulting firm and sitting in the bench and doing things that you cannot really re- remember on your deathbed, for lack of a better way to put it. I want people to basically go through their life and recognize, like, if I want a change to happen, what are the tools that I need, how do I go on about it, and how do I make that happen. Most of the time that it's not that hard to go on about it and do it. So if anything that I'm doing that encourages anybody to go share hand and go do their own thing that is interesting to them, and that brings about positive change, I'm more than happy to talk about it. I thought you were going to industry. Yeah, I am going to industry. I am just closing it down in 2 minutes. So within that 2 minutes, I'm just trying to see if whether there is anything that's particularly missing today's stream. I will cover all these breakouts, all these ports and stuff on the next stream, and not only for Radxa but also for the LattePanda boards. So I'll go through step by step on each of those connectors, and each of the interfaces, IOs and interfaces, and what is there and why that is there, and explain one very interesting concept about that high speed IO, how Intel's general purpose high speed IO works, and how you get to choose as a hardware developer, not as a soft like a user of the board, but as a hardware developer person, like the people who make the BIOS and create the board, as then how you get to choose whether to give somebody, the users, more number of Ethernet ports or more number of SATA ports or more number of PCIe lanes, etc. And that's pretty fascinating, by the way. So stay tuned, and on the next stream we're gonna go ahead and talk about those ones. I have the same vision as you. So I'm trying to come up with some interesting projects alongside with some theoretical concepts. Please feel free to put your YouTube URL, like in your YouTube channel name, in the chat, so that if anybody else is watching, they can go and visit that. I like I'm not in for spammy content where people basically like go around self promoting themselves, but you seem like somebody who is actually genuinely like interested about this. So please go ahead and post your YouTube channel in the chat. And thank you for watching. Thanks for asking the questions. I look forward to seeing you and everybody else who was watching the stream and everybody else who would watch the VOD afterwards. All those things are fine. Oh, please, do you mind if you put that your YouTube channel name on YouTube stream? Because another problem with Twitch is that the stream goes away after 15 days, right? Unless you're a partner, and even if you're a partner, it's very transient. I don't like it that way. I, I prefer the stream to be there. I prefer the stream to actually be helpful for people. So please go ahead and post your YouTube channel name if you can. Oh, if you have or haven't, I encourage you to do that. Please go ahead and do that. And in a later episode, then we'll see your YouTube channel. Cool. With all that said, let's go ahead and end the stream. You guys have been awesome. Thanks for being here. Until next time, which is